Hello everyone and welcome back to Minecraft Dinosaurs, where today we have a lot to build, which mostly is going to include redesigns. I have been building in this world for over a year, and some of the enclosures we've built are starting to show their age, at least to me. So today we're going to go back through and redesign and give some of our animals new homes. And we're starting with the Allosaurus today. I built their enclosure, I want to say third in this world, and it's been a really long time. I think that this fence is kind of out of date. It looks good enough, but it's really wonky. I don't like the lighting, I don't like the pillars, and it's just, you can't see anything through these fences. So I kind of want to bring some consistency into the world and use the design we used over in the swamp biome and kind of just like bring them in line together. And that's kind of going to be the carnivore fence we use like throughout most of the park. I also want to rethink how I did this water feature. It's very spiky, I guess, all these rocks, and it's just very gravelly. I want to kind of bring it in line to something we kind of like would see over in the swamp, to kind of bring these two areas together. And then I also want to touch up like some of the foliage stuff. I want to redo how the rocks look, because I don't think I had a lot of the resources I do now, so I was kind of like very sporadic on some of the stuff. So I think doing all those like little improvements will definitely help this entire enclosure and make a much better home for our Allosaurus. So without too much more yammering, let's go ahead and get straight into it. This enclosure looks so much better. Now that like really harsh fence is gone, it feels far more open, and our Allosaurs look still stunning. They look absolutely amazing. I've gone ahead and added like all those rock texturing things. I've done a little bit of small details that I left out. I did the waterway and kind of gave it more of that foliage you would see kind of in the swamp. It just looks a lot better, and it looks more cohesive with the rest of the park. And all of this stuff didn't actually take me that long, and it was just little changes that really helped this enclosure. So now that this one is officially done, I think it's time we move over to the Diploticus. I got so carried away, guys. I did a live stream where I was originally just going to remove this section of the river, work on some of the foliage touch-ups, and I got super carried away. I basically removed all the foliage, re-terraformed the entire landscape, got rid of all of the waterways, and honestly, I like it a lot more now. I think it's a lot better. This is going to be much more arid feeling, and then I've opened up this side of the enclosure to have a really cool view from the other side of the river. Like, I think once we get this to where they can't actually get out, and once we get like all this like refoliaged, it'll look so cool walking along near the food factory, just being able to see the Diploticus from the other side of the river. And that's why I ended up deciding to get rid of that fence. I think it's just a much better sightline, and that's kind of all I want to achieve with this park is those sightlines. So I'm going to come back through and keep working on getting this foliage back up to snuff. And I think I'm officially done decorating this exhibit with the foliage. I have gone kind of crazy over this the past couple days, and I think it looks so good. I've added more trees to kind of frame the exhibit nice. Again, we took out the fence, and I've kind of spent some time decorating with bushes, tall grass, and then this section is meant to be very arid, kind of like dry, and kind of just like they've stamped all the plant life that's through this, so there's only small things that can grow in between when they walk through here. Like, I think that this exhibit looks really cool. I've textured the rocks to kind of have that diorite texture. I've really tried to make sure we blended what we had previously with where we're going in the future, and that was one of the biggest things that I had to contend with. I brought in the trees that I want to kind of have in like the plains biome and in the open areas of the forest, like just tons of little things, tons of little details that I've put throughout this build that I am so happy with. Every little corner of this is just a big improvement over what we already had. And let me show you this. This is my new favorite view in the park because I can look over the river and see our Diploticus and like have a really good view of them actually. Like, this is such a good view of the Diploticus. I think having the fence there really shrunk them and made them feel really small, but now they just look so big, and you get a real sense of how genuinely massive they are as creatures in this game. And like, I just love it. I love seeing the whole frame across the river. I think this is one of my favorite things that I have like gone back and done. And I don't typically like to redesign the stuff that I work on just because it is a lot of work, and also there is a certain nostalgia factor to what was there previously. But with just these two enclosures, I think that these subtle changes, and then I guess in this one, this was a big change, but these changes really do elevate the build, and I think have made me be able to bring to life what I've been thinking about since I first put out that episode. And I genuinely like this. I really am happy with this. So now that we're done with the Diplos and the Allos, I have in my inventory a little checklist here of all of the redesigns I wanted to do. We can check off the Diplos, and now I want to head over to the Stegosaurus. I don't think I'm going to change much about the foliage in their current enclosure. Maybe a little bit here and there, just bring some stuff up to date with what I do now. But what I really want to focus on is actually giving them a small expansion. This space right here, I don't really know what to do with. I could like decorate it with trees, I could terrain it a little bit more, but I think what will make this so much easier if I carry this rock wall along the back here and then just put a little space there and then expand the Stegos just a little bit more, give them a little bit more room to walk around, and give them some other clearings that you can see from like back in that path, and just a couple different like spaces. What I am really trying to focus on nowadays is those sight lines and getting those good views of our creatures. So let's go ahead and get to work on this rock wall. With the rock wall put in and that fence gone, I can now see into the Stego enclosure from this back section, and oh my gosh, it looks so nice. I did remove one singular tree in the middle there, and I think it really does open up that view just so nicely to see into that clearing. I'm probably going to do a little bit more rock work because I kind of was thinking that it would be cool to add like some verticality here as well. And then also when I was putting it in, after I got done, I was like, this is kind of like all one rock. I think it might be cool if I go back through and like break this open just a little bit and add some sections where the dirt comes all the way down, and I do a similar trick to how we're keeping the Diplos in, where I add some leaf blocks carefully placed to actually keep the Stegos inside, as well as maybe some trees or something, like some like fancy tricks to basically make it look like there's nothing keeping them in. It's just that you're walking through a national park and you happen to see them along your path. So I think I'm going to quickly go through, finish up texturing this rocks and adding in the foliage in this little section of the enclosure, and I think that'll just about do it for the stegos. While I build the trees for the stego enclosure, I would like to take a quick second and say a massive, massive thank you to all of my channel members whose names you should see at the top of your screen now. These people, for whatever reason, have chosen to support me financially, and it could not mean any more to me. It means so, so much. So, as you see your name, just know that you hold a very, very special piece of my heart, and just thank you, thank you, thank you. And don't worry, I do have another little reward for all my channel members coming up in this video and in next video that will kind of immortalize you in the Dinos world for forever. We'll get more into that a little bit later. But whilst I also have you here, I should also mention some of the other like YouTuber-y things that I have. The smaller of which is the fact that I do have a community Discord, which is linked in the description of this video and most of my other videos. It is a really good place if you want to stay up to date with all of my content. If you want to see like stream notifications early, I post them all in there. So if you want to get those kind of notifications, do check that out. It's a really good resource. It's also the best way if you want to like post something for me to see. If you want to post your builds, I have a channel for that. If you want to give feedback on some stuff, I have a channel for that. If you want to put input in on polls, I do polls kind of regularly, and I'm pretty active in the chat. So if you're looking for like ways to connect with me and other people that do like dinosaurs and this kind of content, do check that out. It's really cool. And it's also, if you do decide to become a member, again, no requirements, it is where you get most of your member rewards, including the world downloads, which if you're kind of upset by like all the changes that I've made to the old enclosures in this episode, there is a world download out for tier 2 members that is from episode 20 and before that. So it's a good kind of like history catalog if that's something you're interested in. But moving on to the bigger of my little talking points, and that is, at the time of recording this video, we are about 6 subscribers off of hitting 2,000, and I'm blown away. It means so much that this many people have found my content, and even if you've just found it or you've been here since the beginning, you guys mean the world to me. So again, thank you for watching all the videos and supporting and like commenting. I read them all, and I just like, I can't ever say it enough. You guys mean so much to me, and like, it's just blown my mind. This year has been phenomenal, and I'm just so appreciative. But I think I've just about finished making all the trees for this enclosure, so let's get back into the video. With that section of trees out the back, this expansion is complete, and I have to say, I'm really liking the feeling of how this looks. Like, it looks like that could go on for quite some ways. Like, there's no barrier there. It looks like these stegos are actually naturally wandering in the wild, and it just looks so cool. It's also, that's a much darker, like, kind of clearing, so when they walk back there, they just look absolutely stunning, almost like they're camouflaging in with the foliage, and I could not be more pleased with that. I think maybe this section up at the front could use a little bit of changing, but I've already spent so much time doing all those trees. I've updated the rocks to have that more, I guess, my more updated rock texturing style, and I've just done a lot of like little bits and bobs throughout this enclosure that I don't know if I have any more time for this, especially because there's one last enclosure that I want to take care of. But before we do that, I need to quickly take care of something over at the aquarium, where I'm standing just outside of our Mosasaur lagoon that we built in the last episode, which if you didn't see, we built this entire custom ocean biome enclosure for our Mosasaurs, and boy oh boy, they are so cool. I love these guys so much. They're so amazingly well modeled, and they're so spooky with the shaders and the lighting. But I'm actually over here to show you what we named them. I have Triton, I have Mel, and I have Maximus. These are our Mosasaur names, and they were suggested by the users you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for the support on last episode. This project took so very long to do, and I kind of want to attribute this video being a little late because of it. Because I spent so much time on this, I definitely needed a little bit of a breather, you know, just to make sure I didn't get burned out. But that's kind of what I love about this world, is no matter how much these projects keep getting bigger or how much time I put into them, if I ever start feeling burnt out, I always am able to come back to this world and keep doing and keep building. And that's largely because of you guys, because of your support and all that on the videos. It really means a lot to me. So I just want to say again, thank you, thank you, thank you. But yeah, these guys are absolutely phenomenal. I love them. I love the viewing vent, and I can't wait to come back over to this area and do a little bit more building to get this rest of the stuff, like the terraforming and stuff, done, get some more observatory areas, and of course, get our megalodons. But that's all for future. It's now time to go back to our last redesign of the episode, which is this little chicken coop that we built almost a year ago now, and it has housed our sweet baby boy, Fusion, for let's see how many days, 594 days, almost 600 days. Fusion has been in this tiny little coop because we built this so early on in the game. We didn't really have much. He's lived in here and he's been a real trooper, but I think it's time we give him a proper home. Which, if you haven't been paying attention to my live streams, I've been designing this info/visitor center that's going to serve as the community center of our park. And it'll kind of showcase all of the fan art that you guys have been making as soon as I get the immersive paintings mod to work, as well as all of the dinosaur skeletons and like fossils and archaeology stuff I could put in, and an upgraded Confuciusaurus exhibit. And I think this is going to be the location of our info/visitor center. It's kind of on top of a hill, so it gives some of that verticality. And you can see our Stegosaurus enclosures right over there. The swamp is back that way. And then this direction is actually over to our world spawn, which is about right there. So I think this will be a very good location for like a central building that also will kind of act as like the entrance, I want to say, or the big thing, the first big thing you come to when you come to the park. So I think that this will be a good location. I need to start clearing out some trees and get to building. And here it is, our brand new Confuciusaurus enclosure. I really love this. It's not a big enclosure, but it's definitely much bigger than the chicken coop. And it's just I was able to put a lot of small details like those perches in there that just kind of like added to it. And I'm really happy with how this came out. I think it looks so cool. And it was such a good suggestion. I've been designing like the whole info center on the live streams, and someone suggested that we put a brand new like dinosaur enclosure, and I thought, what better than the Confuciusaurus, the dinosaur that literally was our first like extinct creature in the park. And it's gonna be so cool seeing them fly in here. So with that said, I need to actually go get our good boy Fusion. I finally managed to get him in here. He is so small, and it's really easy to forget how small he is, but like moving him around, I just couldn't see him, but I had to trust that he was with me the whole time. he's looking so cool, and it's so nice to get him like space for him to walk around, like stuff for him to jump on. He's got so much more room, and I could not be happier. The only thing that I think he's missing is some friends. So I actually have 2 more cultivated Confuciusornis eggs. So I'm gonna place these guys down, and oh my goodness, I forgot how cute he was when he was a baby. Aw. Okay, wait. I do have a Dinopedia. Let's see what we've got. We've got a female and a male. So we've got another male Confuciusornis and a female Confuciusornis. So I'm going to need some name suggestions for these guys. And oh my goodness, I think that this is going to look so cool with them all flying around in here. And I know that the building these guys are in right now doesn't look like much, and it's really not finished just because I'm so short on time. But once we get the rest of this build actually made, I think this is going to be one of my favorite buildings we've put into the park, even rivaling the aquarium. I think it's going to look really cool. I have a lot of ideas to like jam into this like thing with all the like fossil displays. I'm really going to try and get every single fossilized skeleton in the mod into this like whole building, so that's going to be a lot. But I also want to make sure that this is a good building for like the community stuff. Like I already mentioned it, I'm going to put fan arts in here, but I also want to put like a wall of members, like think Stampy's Lovely World, where you just have a wall of all of the channel supporters, and like just kind of like the history of this world. I can keep like old versions of the map, I can keep like screenshots of like old like things of the world. It's just like this is gonna be a really big expansive building, and I know it doesn't look like much now, but it's gonna be something I think that's really special. So I'm really excited for next episode where I can hit the ground running finishing this up. But I do want to say the work we've done today has been so good. So let's take one quick second to look back at what we did. We took 4 of our oldest enclosures and gave them brand new makeovers and even new locations, and I think it has really helped elevate each of these builds. Like, the changes we made in some ways are kind of subtle and hard to notice, but if you look at these images back to back, like, you can really tell how much of a difference all of these details have made and really helped elevate each of these builds to bring them into a much more modern style as well as a much more detailed style, and I could not be happier with the final results. With all of these redesigns done, I am feeling really inspired, so I cannot wait for next episode where I can come back, do even more work, build even more cool things, and get to work on some new enclosures. So with all that said, I will see you guys in the next episode. See ya!